Hello everybody, guys. Today I want to do a review of my new watch. This is Tudor Black Bay GMT. This watch was released back in 2018, and I'm very pleased to be able to get this. I bought this about a few weeks back, and so today I want to do a review. I want to tell you guys what has been my experience with this watch for the past few weeks, and so we're gonna talk about a lot of things about this watch, from the spec, what I think about it, the proportion. We're gonna touch on a lot of things, so let's get started with the review, guys. But before we start, I just want to tell you that if you like watches, please consider subscribing to this channel. That means a lot to me. Just click the subscribe button. I'll be very happy to welcome you as one of my subscribers. Alright guys, so let's get started with the watch review. Okay, so this watch was released back in 2018, like I said before, and this is quite a popular watch, and it's actually a very nice watch. So let's touch on the dial first, okay, as a beginning. The dial, it's very much like Rolex, because Black Bay, this is from Black Bay series from Tudor, and Black Bay is very much like Rolex. It's kind of like Rolex Submariner. The hour marker, you can see, is very much like Rolex. And here, one thing that stands out from this Black Bay GMT is that the bezel here. This Tudor Black Bay GMT is also called Tudor PEPSI, because if you see the bezel here, it has two colors, the blue and the red, and so that really resemble the Rolex PEPSI GMT, which is very hard to get, almost impossible to get. Okay, and so we got blue and then the red. In Rolex world, it's called PEPSI. That's why this is called Tudor PEPSI. Even though in real life, I have seen the Rolex PEPSI in real life, and I compare it with this one. Actually, even though both of them has blue and the red bezel, but the Tudor, the blue is actually, at least to me, it looks better, because the blue is darker, a lot darker, whereas with the Rolex PEPSI, the blue is kind of like purple. But this one is navy blue, dark navy blue, which I think is very nice, because in the room where the lighting, where the lighting is not so strong, where it's slightly dark, the blue will become like black. So it's when it becomes like black, it's kind of like cold. In Rolex world, when this kind of GMT combinations, the colors combination of red and the black will be called coke. And then where it's like blue and the red, like this one, is called PEPSI. That's just the nickname that watch enthusiasts give. And so yeah, so this watch is actually a blue color, navy blue, but then under strong light, you can see that it's actually blue, but then if it's a little bit darker, inside the room, it's gonna be like black. So this can really become kind of like a Rolex Coke, which is actually very nice. I really like it. I really like this color, the blue and the red. It's just darker than the Rolex counterpart, so make this watch more sporty. And then after that, we got the and then we get the dome crystal. Look at the crystal, guys. It's very nice. So it has a very nice, strong vintage vibe, this watch. And you can see the dome is very nice. The dome crystal here, the crystal is very nice. I really like it. It's very warm. And then also about this dial, I mean, Tudor doesn't have, like Rolex, the indices is filled with like white gold, but this one, I don't believe that they use gold. But then the way they finish, the way they polish the hour marker, it's just so good. So I've owned a Rolex in the past, and when the when the light hits the dial, you know, the hour markers just glow. And it's the same thing with the Tudor. I don't know what they do. I mean, it doesn't, you know, I thought last time when I owned Rolex, you know, I thought it was because they use white gold for the hour indices. But then, you know, with this Tudor, you know, I don't believe they have gold inside there. But then, you know, the way it reflects the light, it's just so nice. It is basically you know, I would say the same like Rolex. I mean, the way they polish the hour marker, it's really hard to show it to you guys, but you know, in real life I can tell you, like, it's very, the reflection is just so pleasing to the eyes. And then I really like the bracelet. The bracelet is, even though this is not 914 steel bracelet like Rolex, but then you can see like the surface is all brushed, so is very sporty. Whereas with Rolex, you know, certain models like Milgauss Daytona, that's popular, you know, they have like PCL, the polished center link, which is kind of dressy, you know. But with Tudor, we can see the bracelet is all brushed, and so this makes it a very sporty watch, you know, ultimate toolish watch. And then I also like the snowflakes on the GMT hands here, a GMT hand here, and then the hour hand. I think it's very nice touch, you know. I like me personally, I like the snowflake design. Some people don't like it, but I do like it. I think that's the characteristic of Tudor watch. And then after that, I want to talk about the water resistance. This watch has 200 meters of water resistance, so this watch can actually act like a diver if you want it to be. So which is why, like, I you know, another strong point of this watch. I mean, not only it has a GMT complication, so if you see the GMT, it has extra hand there. So basically with the GMT complication, you can track 2 time zones. So if you travel to a new place, you can track the place where you are and the place where you know, from your hometown. So that yeah, so basically you can track two time zone. So it's very nice. I mean, I understand right now, you know, with the COVID, we don't, you know, people don't really travel that much, but under normal circumstances, people normally travel a lot. And you know, the GMT complication, I think, is very useful. And also what I like about GMT complication is that normally if you build a normal watch collection, 3 complications that normally people have, you know, in general, they will have, like, as a cornerstone, they will have diver's watch, chronograph, and then GMT. So this can really serve as one of the cornerstones in your collection if you want to build like a small nice watch collection. So yeah, basically GMT complication, I find it very useful, and it's very popular complication. Okay, it's very nice. So I like the extra hand there. And then the water resistance 200 meters, like any other Black Bay watch. So very nice. You can swim with it, you can do water sport, you know, no problem. It features screw down crown, so you don't have to worry about it. If you go to the pool, you just do it, so there will not be any water going in. And then let's talk about the proportion, guys. So the watch is 41 millimeter, slightly larger than Rolex Submariner, you know, even though actually no, the Submariner is now 41 millimeter. I must forget. So it's 41 millimeter, so it's not a large watch. But then the thing that I want to emphasize from this review is that the thickness of this watch, guys. This is a very thick watch. I mean, the thickness is 14.8 millimeter. So if you know, Tudor also have like Tudor Pelagos. I would say that in terms of thickness, you know, they're about the same. So this watch has the thickness of 14.8 millimeter, and the weight of this watch. This is something that another one that I want to emphasize, that the weight of this watch is 180 180 grams. So just put this into perspective. The Submariner weigh about 150 grams, about 150 155. So this watch is actually about 20% heavier than the Submariner, the Rolex Submariner. And I gotta tell you guys, the first week when I put this on my wrist, it felt very, very uncomfortable. It was very weighty. It was very, very heavy. You know, for people who consider to buy this watch, I just want to tell you that this is a heavy watch, guys. So if you want it to be light, I'm sorry, but this is heavy. This is very heavy, 180 grams, and then with a 14.8 millimeter of thickness. You're gonna feel it when you put it on your wrist. You're gonna feel it there. You know, this is one issue that I feel that this watch can be improved. You know, if Tudor could make it like a little bit thinner, I think it would have been perfect. But unfortunately, that's, you know, it's not the case with this watch. So I just want to tell you that it can be uncomfortable for some people because of the thickness and the weight of this watch. But then me personally, I do like it, even though I have to admit that the first week I put it on, I don't feel it very comfortable at all. But then I got used to it. I warm up to it. I like heavy watch. I feel that you know, it's like wearing something solid. But then the thickness is, yeah, I mean, it's also not a big of an issue because at the end of the day, this is still a 41 millimeter watch. So it's not really like a large watch, you know. But the thickness is, yeah, can, you know, bug me a little bit, you know, because I sometimes bang it around the door, you know, because of the thickness. But again, it's not too crazy thick, you know. But and still 41 millimeters, so it's not too large. And then the lock width is 22 millimeter. So this is 22 millimeter is not as popular as 20 millimeter lock width, but then it's still I would say it's still reasonably popular. So if you want to change the strap, I believe there are a lot of options out there. And then this Tudor GMT actually comes with two options. You can opt for the bracelet, or you can opt for the leather. The leather one is going to be cheaper. It comes with a deploying clasp, but then I like this one with a bracelet, even though like I said before, since it's a heavy watch, you know, I'm considering of getting like a leather strap that I want to switch with the bracelet to reduce the weight a little bit, so I hope it will be more comfortable to wear. And then let's talk about the movement, guys. So the movement is Tudor in-house movement. So and this is actually very interesting. The Tudor never make any GMT watches in the past before, so this is like the first time they make GMT, Tudor GMT, a watch with a GMT complication, which is why I think it's very interesting. Since this is the first watch, I believe that there is a potential for this watch to be collectible further down the road. You know, even though I don't really bank on it, at the end of the day, I know I'm buying a watch not because I want to invest in it or I feel that, oh yeah, it can be collectible, but because I love the watch. I like the aesthetic of the watch. But I'm just saying, like, this is my personal opinion. This is since Tudor never make any GMT watch before, and this is like the first one. I think is very, very interesting. So and then so it comes with the in-house movement, and the power reserve is very nice, impressive, 70 hours. So it will last for 3 days. You can put it down on Friday, and then over the weekend you don't use it, and then on Monday when you go back to your office or where you do your activity as regular, and then it will not die because it will stay on, it will stay alive for 70 hours, almost 3 days, and which is actually very nice because a lot of Rolex watches, Tudor is a sister brand of the of Rolex company, guys. So this is why I do a lot of comparison with Rolex, and yeah. So with Rolex watches, a lot of models are still not upgraded yet. If you want to get if you want to buy a Rolex watch, the only some watches are 70 has 70 hours of power reserve, but there's still a lot of watches in their catalog that's not updated yet. The new they already have the new movement, the 3235, I believe, and that one features 70 hours of power reserve, but a lot of models don't have that yet. Like for example, Rolex Explorer, Rolex Milgauss, even Rolex Daytona, they don't have it. And even the most iconic watch in their catalog, the Rolex Submariner, just get upgraded last year, just last year, 2020. So I mean, I just want to tell you guys, so this is why this watch I think is very, very nice, because when you buy Tudor, I would say that almost all their watches, I mean from Black Bay collection, they all already have in-house movement, and the in-house movement has 70 hours of power reserve, something that not all Rolex watches have. So I think that's very that's worth mentioning. And then in terms of accuracy, I also find it a very, very good. I've been wearing this for like 2 weeks straight, and about a few weeks straight, to about 2 weeks, and I would say that the accuracy has been very, very impressive. Even though here we can see like GMT, you know, it's written, it says GMT chronometer officially certified, so COSC, but I've been wearing this for like 2 weeks, about 2 to 3 weeks, and I will tell you, I found that this watch gained only about 2 seconds a day, so very impressive really. So 2 seconds a day basically is super COSC. It's not COSC, because COSC is like -4 +2 6 seconds, but this one only gained about 2 seconds, so it's +2. I used to own Rolex, and yes, my old Rolex, last time I got a Rolex Milgauss, Rolex Sea Dweller. Yes, they were more accurate. Like my Rolex Milgauss, I remember last time, you know, I gained about 1 second in a day, but then, you know, so this one is like +2 seconds. So okay, it's less accurate, but it's only 1 second. We're talking about 1 second difference, so it's not really meaningful, I would say. And I'm very pleased with 2 seconds a day. You know, I think it's very, very impressive already. And then the last one, I think I want to point out, I want to show you the Loom, guys. The Loom of this watch is very good. So let me turn off the light, guys, just a second. There you go. So just wanna show it to you guys. The Loom is amazing. I'm gonna tell you, like, it's very, very good. And let me turn off another light. There you go. So as you can see, the Loom is very, very strong. It's very bright. It's green color, but it's very, very nice. I used to have the Rolex Sea Dweller, the pre-ceramic, the 16600, and I gotta tell you guys, the Loom of this Tudor Black Bay GMT smoked that Rolex Sea Dweller 16600, no comparison. I mean, like, you know, I've owned Rolex in the past. I own Tudor. I would say that modern Tudor beat pre-ceramic Rolex any day. I mean, you know, I'm saying this without any bias. I mean, that's based on my personal experience. All right, guys. So basically, yeah, this is the Loom. It's very nice. I'm gonna turn back on. I'm gonna turn back the light on. Yeah. All right. So yeah. So that's yeah. So I already showed you the Loom. So the Loom is very, very nice. And then okay, let's get this focus. Yeah. So all right, guys. So I think I have talked about this watch quite a lot, and I'm gonna jump into my conclusion now. What do I think about this watch? You know, what's the verdict? I would say this. I think this watch, in my opinion, this is the best GMT watch in its class. Okay, you know, this watch is about what, like about $4,000 US, 4 to 4.5. I forget the retail price, but basically in this price range, I would say that this watch is the best in its class. I mean, nothing touches it. I mean, you know, the Omega doesn't have a nice GMT watch. Normally Tudor, you compare it with Omega doesn't have a nice GMT watch. They have chronograph, they have divers, but you know, but they don't have nice GMT. You don't compare this with Rolex, because Rolex is a lot more expensive. Yeah, but this watch, I think, you know, nothing touches it. I mean, from Omega, Breitling, whatever, no brands make as nice make GMT GMT watch as nice as this one in this price range. I will say this, you know, so which is why I think this is a great watch. If you want to have like a nice GMT watch in this kind of price range, I think this is your best bet. And again, even if we compare this to Rolex, I would say that this is basically is the same like Rolex GMT. The only thing that I like Rolex better than this one is the fact that in terms of proportion, I think I already mentioned to you that this watch is quite thick and is quite heavy. If Tudor could only like make it thinner a little bit, I think it would have been perfect. But you know, I think that's the only part where I feel where I will give Rolex as an, you know, an edge. I think Rolex has an edge over Tudor in terms of proportion. I think, you know, their watch is a little bit thinner, but other than that, I think, you know, in terms of technicality, the spec, everything else, you know, I think it's pretty much the same. I mean, this watch is like 95% Rolex PEPSI, but at a much more affordable price. So this watch is a great watch, guys. So I really recommend this one. If you want to get it, I think you should get it. Alright guys, that has been the review of Tudor GMT. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.